Today, I want to talk about Peter Handke's masterpiece novel, Repetition, which came out in 1986. And now Peter Handke won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2019, and Repetition is one of his most popular novels. It's basically about a man who goes to revisit his childhood from Austria into Yugoslavia, and when he gets there, he encounters a young boy who reminds himself of who he was and thinks, and he starts to think how time can be cyclical, and he starts to have memories and think about a certain event that happened back then, and how this event all has new meaning, and it's all about how our memories change, and we can never have any certainty over the meaning of an event, and how things can be cyclical. And it's written in a very rich, it's minimalistic yet obscure. And he seems to be hovering in that area, between people, the sort of what is said versus what is meant, that sort of tenuous psychological region between two people as they're encountering one another. But it's a very philosophical novel. It can come across as being quite obscure, but that's Peter Handke's style. I mean, it's very much a modernist or even postmodernist fiction. It's so beautifully written. But anyway, all about memory, time, revisiting the past, having a kind of like a rebirth when we revisit the past. And it was a huge influence on my novel, The Mountain, which came out maybe 10 years ago, which is basically about a couple journalists, American journalists, who were in Yugoslavia when the war breaks out, and how he finds out that his wife has had an affair the very day that they have to escape, and he still doesn't trust her. They still haven't resolved this issue about the affair, but they have to cross over this mountain and try to escape into Hungary, and while they're doing so, they come across this lone soldier who seems to be good, and they go off together. But then he starts saying strange things one night, and then the protagonist has this idea that he's trying to seduce his wife, and that she's going to cheat on him again. So he kind of goes, well, fuck you, and then he just abandons both of them together, and he goes off thinking he's going to have this new life. He goes off across this mountain by himself during wartime, and he thinks he's having a rebirth. He's going to be free from his wife. He's going to be a new person. All these wonderful things are going to happen. But then he encounters a mass grave, and then he becomes afraid that maybe he misinterpreted what happened between the soldier and his wife, and that maybe she's in danger. And then he goes back to try to find her, and that's essentially the story, how they're brought back together again, how their past together shapes their future, how our mind can twist certain events, how memories can come back to haunt us, to sort of color the present. So it's very much influenced by Peter Handke's novel Repetition, but also Ernest Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls. And I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, read Peter Handke for sure. He won the Nobel Prize. He's scandalously ignored in English-speaking countries, and he really should be a lot more popular than he is. I mean, he co-wrote the script to Wings of Desire, the very famous Wim Wenders film from the 1980s about the angels in Berlin. So he's very, very, very important writer and a big influence on my own work. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again.